Om Sang Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste. We left off last time. Hanuman had gone to Lanka. He went to the grove where there is no sorrow, the grove of pleasure, and at the foot of the tree of pleasure, there was Sita full of grief and sorrow. And he reassured Sita, Ram is going to come. He took her hair ornament. He flew across the ocean again. He returned with all the monkeys to Ram, and he was describing the condition of Sita. And we're at the 30th Doha. And it says, day and night your name is her protector. And other than you, she thinks of nothing else. Her eyes remain focused upon her feet, where they are locked. Then by what path could her life flee? So she's always looking at her feet, remembering you and saying your name, and thinking of nothing else. Now, how could life flee from her in this condition? Now let's everybody open your books and let's recite from just after the number 30, the 30th Doha. Chalatamo ki chura mani dinhi, Raghupati ridiyan loiso linhi, Nat jugala lochana bori bari, Bachana kake kachujana kakumari, Anud sameta gahe kuprabhu charna, Dina bandut pranatarati harna, Manikrama bachana charana anuragi, Keking aparada nata hodhya, Abaguna ekamora mengmana, Vichurata prana nakina payana, Nata so nayanaki kodra aparada, Nisarata prana kara kingati bada, Biraka agani gini tanu tula samira, Shwasha jarai chana mahansarira, Naginasrava kinjugo nija hitalagi, Jare napava de kabira hagi, Sita kay ati bipati bisala, Binaking kahing balidina doigala, Nimisha karuna nidi, Jaking kalapasama biti, Begi chalia prabhu aniya, Bujabala kala dala jitis, Siyabora Ramachandra ki jai, Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Suni Sita Dukkha Prabhu Sukha Ayana, Bori Aye Jalarajivanayana, Vachanakayam Manapranma Vati Jaki, Sapaneku Bujiyam Bari Pati Jitati, Kaku Andumanta Nipati Prabhu Soyi, Jabatava Sumirana Bhajanana Hoyi, Kiti Kabat Prabhu Jatu Danaki, Ripuhi Jiti Ani Bir Janaki, Sunu Kapi Keodoi Samana Upakari, Nakin Koi Suranara Munita Nudari, Prati Upakara Karon Katora, Sanamuka Hoina Sakata Manamora, Sunu Suta Toki Urina Menaki, Deki Ukori Bichara Manamaki, Puni Puni Kapiki Bichaba Puratrata, Lochana Nira Pulaka Aptikata, Suni Prabhu Pachanambi Loki Mukha, Gata Karashi Hanumanta, Charana Pareu Prema Kula, Traki Bhagavanta, Siyabora, Ramachandra ki jai, Pabama Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Bar bar Prabhuchagi Utaba Prema Magana Teki Utabandha Baba Prabhu Kura Pankaja Kapi Kim Sisa Sumira Sodasa Bagana Gorisa Sabdan Manakuri Puni Sankar Lage Kahana Kata Ati Sunda Kapi Hutagi Prabhu Hridayan Lakava Karakaki Paramani Kata Boitava Kaku Kapi Rabanda Palita Lanka Teki Bidi Dayu Durga Ati Banka Prabhu Prasanna Jana Janumana Bola Bachana Bigata Abhimana Saka Brega Te Bari Manusagi Saka Te Saka Parajagi Nagi Sindhu Ataka Purajara Nisichara Ganapadi Bipin Ujara So Sabatava Pratapa Raghurai Natnakachu Mora Prabhutai Takachu Prabhu Kachu Agamana King Japaratuma Anakula Dhabrabam Vabhavana Lakin Jari Sakaya Kalutul Siyamora Ramachandra Ki Jai Pavana Sutta Karumana Ki Jai Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai Nat Bhagati Ati Sukadayani Dehu Kripa Koran Payani Suni Prabhu Paramasarala Kapibani Evamastu Tabaka Hehu Pabani Umaram Subaku Jekindana Kakim Bhajanu Taji Baba Naana Yakasam Bhajasura Ava Raghupati Charana Bhagati Soy Pava Suni Prabhu Bachana Kahin Kapi Brinda Jai 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 Kripala Sukha Kanda Tabaragupati Kapi Pati Kibolava Kaha Chale Kara Kara Kupanava Ababilam Buke Hikana Neki Jai Turat Kapina Kakuaya Sudi Jai Kotu Kadeki Sumana Bakuvarashi Nabating Baban Chale Surakorashi Kapipati Begi Bolae Aye Jud Tapajud Nana Barana Atulala Balam Banara Bala Purud Siyawala Ramachandra Ki Jai Pavana Sutta Karumana Ki Jai Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai Prabhupada Pankajana Bhakisisa Garjakim Balu Mahabala Kisa Tekiram Sakala Kapisena Chitai Kripa Kodara Jivanena Rama Kripa Chabala Pagi Kapinda Bhai Puchajuta Manapungarinda Horashiram Tabakina Payana Saguna Bhaki Sundar Shubhanana Jasu Sakala Mangala Maya Kiti Tasu Payana Saguna Kyakaniti Prabhu Payana Jana Boitehin Parakimbama Angajanu Kapitehin Joy Joy Saguna Jana Ki Hoy Asaguna Bayu Ravanaki Soy Chalakata Kuko Parane Para Garjakimbana Rapalua Para Nakayuda Kiripada Padari Chale Gaganabaki Ichachari Keharina Baluka Pikaraking Dagagakaking Digaja Chikaraking. And now we have another chant. Chikara Kindigaja Dola Mati Giri Lola Sagara Karabare Manatarisha Sabaskandar Basura Muni Naga Kinara Dukatare Kata Kata King Karkata Dikata Bata Baku Koti Koti Taba King Jai Rama Prabala Pratapa Kosala Napta Guna Gana Kaba para king, Saki Sakana para Udara Akipati para king, Smoha ing, Gakadasana Puni Puni Kamata Prishta, Karkora Sokimi, Sohaki, Raghubira Buchirna Prayana Prastiti, Chani para Masuhavani, Janukamata Karpara Sarparaja, Solikata Abichala Pavani, Solikata Abichala Pavani, Solikata Abichala Pavani, Ehibidi Jahi Kripanidi, Uttare Sagaratir, Jahan Tahan Lagi Kanapal, Balu Vipula Kapibir, Siyamora Ramachandra Ki Jai, Pavanasuta Hanuman Ki Jai, Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Let's stop here and we'll go back and translate a while because this is really fun. See, now Ram is listening to Sita's condition from Hanuman. And upon my departure, she removed and presented this hair ornament. And Hanuman took out the hair ornament that he had wrapped up in his cloth that Sita had given to him as proof of his verification of his visit with Sita. And the Lord of Light took it and held it to his heart. Oh, my dear hair ornament. Oh, Lord, the daughter of the cause had tears in both of her eyes when she said this to me. Touch the feet of the Lord along with those of his younger brother and say. Now Hanuman's telling Ram Sita's words. You are the friend of the distressed and take away the pain of those who take refuge in you. By my mind, my speech, and my actions, Satyanaраyan Bhagavan Ki Jai! By my mind, my speech, and my actions, I am totally dedicated to your feet. Then, Master, for which fault of mine have you left me? Yes, I can certainly accept one fault, that being separated from you, I have not yet left my life. See, my only dosh, my only fault is that I'm still here and you're over there. And why would I do that? How could I maintain this life without you? But my Lord, this is the fault of my eyes, who are presenting an obstacle for life to leave. It's my eyes. They're creating this obstacle. My life can't leave. The agony of separation from you is like fire. My body is cotton. My breath is the wind. In this way, the union between fire and wind could burn my body in a moment. My body is cotton. My breath is wind. And the separation is like fire. But the eyes, for their own welfare, desiring to see you again, keep raining tears to extinguish the fire of separation. Those stupid eyes, they keep putting out the fire. And that's why I can't leave my body. My body is cotton, my breath is wind. The pangs of the sorrow of separation is fire. And certainly I would burn myself in an instant, but my eyes keep crying, and the tears keep putting out the fire. That's how much I feel the pangs and the anguish of our separation. Now Hanuman says to Ram, nature's difficulties are so great, and you are so compassionate to the afflicted. Therefore, it is better not to speak anymore. O fountain of compassion, her every moment passes as slowly as an age. O Lord, let us go immediately, and with the strength of your arms vanquish the army of evil and bring her to safety. Come on, Ram! Hearing the extent of nature's pain, tears came to the lotus eyes of the Lord. He said, "For anyone who takes refuge in me, in word and mind and body, how can they experience difficulties even in a dream?" And Pure Devotion said, "The only difficulty arises when people forget to worship you. Oh Lord, how can the demons count before you? They are nothing. You are the consciousness of all, and she is the energy of all. If she takes her energy away from them, and you perceive only purity and goodness, they are nothing. They don't even exist. They have no existence apart from you. Defeat the enemies and bring back the daughter of the cause." The Lord said, "Listen, monkey. Neither among gods, men, or men of wisdom has any embodied being performed such a great benefit to me as you have done. I cannot think that I will ever be able to perform a benefit to you of a similar value. Your devotion to me is something that I can never repay, even though I'm the consciousness of all. I can't act with devotion. I am the witness. I'll never be able to repay you. I cannot think that I will ever be able to perform a benefit to you of similar value, to reciprocate. Listen, dear one, I have thought it over extensively and have concluded that I cannot be free from my debt to you. I'm eternally indebted, chiristairin, an eternal debt, because those who love me with pure devotion, they bind me in obligation. I am obligated to love them back. I can't repay the debt of pure devotion." The protector of gods again and again looked at the monkey. Tears came to his eyes and his body trembled. Hearing the Lord's words, seeing his pleased countenance, Pure Devotion was filled with delight. He fell to the earth at the Lord's feet and called, protect me, O Supreme Divinity. Trahi, Trahi, Bhagavan. Protect me. I'm taking refuge in you. You are my shelter. You are my only refuge. Trahi, Trahi, Bhagavan. Again and again the Lord tries to raise him, but lost in deep love, he would not get up. The Lord put his lotus hands on the monkey's head, and the Lord of Gauri, Shiva, was overcome by emotion in remembering that feeling. So here Ram is putting his hand on Hanuman's head, and Shiva is sitting in Kailash next to Gauri, next to Parvati, he's telling the story, and he's feeling, he can't forget the feeling. He's remembering that feeling of what it felt like when Ram put his hand on Hanuman's head. Every one of you, close your eyes and feel it. The Lord is putting his hand on your head and giving you the blessing. Then, composing his mind, the cause of peace, Shiva continued his extremely beautiful narration, because Shiva is telling the story to Parvati. The Lord raised the monkey and embraced him to his heart. Wow. And then took his hand and made him sit down near beside him. Tell me, monkey, how did you burn down the well-protected fortress of the kingdom of the ego? Pure Devotion knew that the Lord was pleased, so he spoke in words without pride or ego. A monkey's greatest skill lies in jumping from limb to limb. What I did in jumping across the ocean burning the golden city, slaying the demon warriors, destroying the grove of pleasure. These are all because of the greatness of the King of Light. This is nothing that I did. It's your greatness, God. I'm just the servant of God. And I'm a devotee. And I just surrender to you and let you use me as the instrument. For this, O Lord, I deserve no credit whatsoever. I am not the doer. How can I take credit for the actions done by you through me? O Lord, with whomever you are pleased, for him or her, there is nothing at all that cannot be attained. For you, even the impossible becomes possible, just like cotton can burn underwater. That's an illustration of one impossibility. Have you ever seen cotton burn underwater? Probably not. However, if God wants it to be so, Eva must do. Let it be so. O Lord, bestow your grace upon me and grant me eternal devotion, which is the cause of supreme bliss. And you know there is no other cause of supreme bliss than eternal devotion. For that instant that we touch that pure devotion, that is the only time that we ever experience bliss in our lives. In everything that we take pleasure in our lives is a consequence of the focus that comes from our devotion. Anytime we have an enjoyable experience, it's because of we love it. We're devoted to it. And we pay attention to it. And now he's saying, grant me eternal devotion, which is the cause of supreme bliss. All the little acts of devotion that we perform give us a little bit of bliss. And if we have eternal devotion, we can experience supreme bliss. Shiva said, and now remember Shiva's telling the Parvati, when the Lord heard the extremely simple words from the monkey, O Divine Mother, he said, Eva must do. So shall it be. I'm granting you that kind of devotion that you want. I am giving you Shuddh, Pavitra, Chiristai, Vyakulata, Ananya Bhakti. Shuddh, Pavitra. Shuddh means pure. Pavitra means pure earth. Chiristai means infinite, eternal. Ananya means without end. Chiristai, Pavitra, Chiristai, Bhakti is devotion. Vyakulata, with the greatest intensity. I am giving you that boon. Shuddh, Pavitra, Chiristai, Vyakulata, Ananya Bhakti. Eva Masta. O Divine Mother Uma, now Shiva's telling this to Parvati, those who have understood the intrinsic nature of consciousness have no desire to stop singing to the Lord or to consider any other idea. What else would you want to consider? Do you want to stop singing? Hopefully not. Whoever has that relationship with the Lord of Light in his heart, he will attain supreme devotion to his lowest feet. If you can cultivate that kind of relationship with God in your heart, then you'll have that kind of devotion to his lowest feet. Hearing the Lord's words, the host of monkeys began to shout, Jai, Jai, Jai! Victory to the gracious bestower of bliss! Victory, victory! Then the Lord of Light called the Lord of Monkeys and told him to make preparations for the journey. Now, for what purpose shall we wait? Immediately give orders to assemble the monkey forces. Seeing that the Lord was preparing to complete the drama for which he had come, and making preparations to slay the ego, the gods were pleased and rained flowers from the sky, and then departed to their homes. So here are all the gods up in the sky looking. Ram is getting ready to march on his final march of victory to destroy the ego. He's going to cross the ocean of worldliness and defeat the ego. He's going to make conquest of the kingdom of the ego. He's going to enthrone discrimination as the king of the kingdom of the ego. And he's going to unite once again with his pure nature. The Lord of the monkeys called the various commanders of monkeys and bears to assemble. And the multitude came in various colors, and all of them were possessed of tremendous strength. So he became Savarni, who belongs to every color, to every tribe, to every caste. He became one with all of nature, all the implements of nature. And he called them all to assemble all the monkeys and bears. They all bowed their heads to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the bears and monkeys of great strength growled, "We are ready for battle." Consciousness looked at the entire army of monkeys, and then the lotus-eyed repository of grace looked at the commanders. The monkeys derived great strength from the grace of consciousness, and the best of the monkeys became like huge mountains sprouting great wings. So here was this monkey army, and they just became so imbued with the qualities of consciousness through their devotion and through the grace of consciousness that they became like huge mountains with wings. Filled with delight, consciousness commenced the journey, and many auspicious omens were seen. It was appropriate for there to be good omens upon the commencement of this expedition, because his fame is filled with welfare for all. Daughter of the one without a body, that's Avadhi, that's Sita, also knew of the commencement of the Lord's journey because her left limbs began to tremble. And whatever good omens for the daughter of the cause were bad omens for the ego. Who could count the numbers of that marching army? Uncountable monkeys and bears were roaring. With no other weapons other than their claws, some carried rocks and trees which they had picked up along the way. Some traveled in the air, some on the land, according to their desire. The bears and monkeys roared like lions, while the elephants in all directions trembled and trumpeted. And now here comes our chant, our song in description of this marching army and the effect that they had on the rest of the world. The elephants of the directions began to trumpet. The earth shook. The mountains trembled, and the waves of the sea became agitated. Celestial beings, gods, men of wisdom, snakes, divine beings, all experienced delight in their minds, knowing that now their pain would soon be ended. This invincible army of consciousness is marching towards the fortress of the ego. Soon their pain would be ended. Uncountable monkey warriors gnashed their teeth, and uncountable others ran ahead, crying, "Victory to the strong, the heroic, the Lord of the nation of welfare, the respected supreme consciousness," and singing of his qualities. The great king of snakes, Shesh, who supports the earth, Remember, on the ocean of consciousness is Anantanag, and on the top of his head he supports the earth. So that means all the energy of infinity is supporting the earth on his head. The great king of snakes, Shesh, who supports the earth, had difficulty supporting the weight of that immense army. Again and again he grew faint under the extreme weight, and he bit his teeth into the hard shell of the tortoise which supports him. So Kurmadeva, the tortoise, is supporting this Anantanag, and Anantanag is supporting the earth, and on top of the earth is this army marching, and as the weight of the footsteps of the army pushes down on the earth, it pushes on his teeth, and he bites into the tortoise shell, which supports him. And in so doing, he made such markings in the shell of the tortoise that it is understood that he wrote the saga of consciousness's exploits indelibly into the shell for all posterity. You look at any tortoise shell, and you will see the entire Ramayana engraved from the teeth of the snake who supports the earth. He was having such a hard time supporting the weight of that army, he bit into the tortoise shell and wrote in the tortoise shell the saga of Ram's march to Lanka. In this way, the repository of grace traveled to the shores of the ocean, and the immense army of bears and monkey warriors began to eat whatever fruits they could find. Well, let's pause right here and see if there are any questions. We've got a lot of material here.
Swamiji, I have a question. On page 82, Swamiji,
yes.
At the bottom,
yes,
it says, he said, for anyone who takes refuge in me in word and mind and body, how can they experience difficulties even in a dream? Swamiji, could you give us examples for each of these different means of taking refuge? Word, mind, and body.
Satyanarayan Bhagavan ki jai. You think pure thoughts, you speak pure words, and you do exactly what you have said. Word and mind and body. And for anyone who can take refuge in the Lord, then all the pain, all the discomfort immediately dissolves and becomes a sensation by which I get the opportunity and the privilege of remembering God. And all the pain just becomes another sensation. It's another opportunity. And all the anguish and affliction becomes just another opportunity for remembering God. I only experience the affliction and the pain and all the different obstacles when I'm thinking about my selfish desires. And when I'm thinking about God, then, wow, this is another opportunity. God has given me another inspiration. I see God in my headache. I see God in my backache. I see God in the pain of separation from God. This too is an opportunity to remember God. It's all a privilege. And now I've put down all the burdens and I've only taken the privileges. And life is one series of privileges to remember God. And I believe that's what he says. For anyone who takes refuge in me, in word and mind and body, how can they experience difficulties even in a dream? Can't even dream a difficult situation. Good. Because God is always there.
As long as Sita feels pain.
She does. And so does Ram. Yeah, but Hanuman doesn't. Sita feels pain. Ram feels pain. But Hanuman doesn't. Because it says, for anyone who takes refuge in me. in word and mind and body. They have no difficulty. Now Sita has forgotten the privilege of being in remembrance of the Lord. She's remembering Him, but she's thinking of her sorrow and her sadness from not being with Him. So she's in pain. And Ram is thinking about his sadness of the pain of separation from Sita, and he's crying. But Hanuman only cries because he's in love. He loves so much. And he serves, and so he has no difficulties.
So, Swamiji, is this the right way to understand? Taking refuge is you have strength in your faith, and that strength helps you to feel no pain or see no difficulties because you know you are with God.
Yes, that's what taking refuge means. It means being filled with pure devotion. Taking refuge means sharanam. Sharanagata dinartha poritrana parayane sarvashyarti haridevi narayani namaste. Whoever takes refuge in you, you take away all pain, all confusion, all affliction. O exposer of consciousness, we bow to you. Who, for those who take refuge in you, you take away all pain and affliction. And it's true here. Anyone who takes refuge in me in word and mind and body, they can't experience difficulties. They've only got solutions. They don't have problems. Are there other questions?
Swami, and the practical way how we can take refuge is then to live in truth.
That's one thing. The other thing is to say, when I've got a headache, oh Lord, thank you for reminding me to remember you. Thank you for reminding me not to forget you. This is a blessing that you're sending to me to remember you. And I'm sorry it's not a comfortable remembrance, but it is a remembrance. Trahi, trahi, Bhagavan. Protect me, O Lord. I'm taking refuge in you. I'm using this sensation as an opportunity to renew my faith. And I'm sorry it's not a pleasant situation in which to remember, but it is an opportunity to remember nonetheless. And if we do remember, how can there be any difficulties? The headache will go away. Just like Krishna comes to the gopis. Are there other questions?
Here's a question from Nanda from San Jose.
Namaste, Nandama.
Swami, can you please speak about Hanuman's leap into Lanka using Ram's name? Does this speak about the devotee's need to take a leap of faith using the name of God or Guru? When is a decision taken based on a leap of faith versus an impulsive act? Thank you for your comment.
What we know, if we're in the service of God, and we're actually doing God's work, we can tell by our motivation and our intention whether it's a leap of faith or whether it's a leap of impulse. So now the question arises, when is it a leap of faith? When you really feel strongly in your heart that this is the service of God, and your intention is to edify God, then you are taking a leap of faith. When you have a doubt as to whether it's a leap of faith, you should consult your guru and ask your guru, is this the right way? And then once you have no doubt, you should move in that direction. And you see, Ram had to build the bridge to go to Lanka. But Hanuman just said Ram's name and jumped. And that's the difference between pure devotion and consciousness, which contemplates. See, the consciousness has to take his whole family across. So he's preparing a way. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. He's preparing the way. And pure devotion, he's got a plan. He's got a sankalpa. He's moving in furtherance of the Lord's design. He's not moving helter-skelter here and there just on a whim. But he moves with conviction. And he moves with faith, with the name of God. So that would be the distinction. What's the first thing we do when we make a puja? We take a sankalpa. And we define the goal, and we determine what's the object and what's the process and what are we going to do. And then we begin the puja. The first step of the puja is to sit down and take a sankalpa. And that's true of every sankalpa. So if we are moving in the furtherance of our sankalpa, then we know it's a leap of faith. And if we don't have a sankalpa, then it's an impulse. And we become chummers, wandering to and fro. We'll try this, and then we'll try that. And we'll try this, and we'll try that. And then one day we'll get tired of wandering to and fro, and we'll find something or someone who inspires us, or which inspires us to make a commitment. And once we've made the commitment, then we stop wandering to and fro, and we move in accordance with our sankalpa. Then we become efficient, and sadhu means efficient. So we become sadhus by making a commitment, not by neglecting making a commitment or avoiding making commitments. Sadhus can't be, there are no sadhus who avoid making a commitment. There are wanderers. And people who make the commitment and follow that commitment with conviction, then they become efficient and they become sadhu. Like Sam. Namaste, Sam.
Question from Ruchi from Maryland.
Namaste, Ruchima.
Swamiji, what is the attitude one should have when facing adversity? In India, there's always trees and all, everybody suggesting pujas for planet Shani to make things normal again.
I think that we should make puja every day. And not just for Shani, but for everybody. Everyone that's divine. And all the divine influences in our lives. Now what happens in India is generally the priests know that householder people are so busy with their worldly tasks that they're not making puja. And their neglect of the pujas is what is causing them the confusion, because they don't have a clear definition of their sankalpa. They don't have a clear intention of why I'm motivated to perform this action. By making pujas on a regular basis, then we become clear about our goals, we become clear about our processes, we become clear about the path, we take the sankalpa, we know what the intention is, what is the motivation, what is the intensity with which we desire this outcome, and then we pursue it. So most of the priests in India who suggest that you worship Sunny, they are saying, get on a spiritual path. For anyone who is on a spiritual path, you have no need of the priest who says, do puja for Shani. You're doing puja every day yourself. But what need have you of a pujari who says that it's Shani dosh? It's not. Shani has many, many benevolent effects in our astrological ecology. Shani is the Lord of discipline. And Shani is a very great benefactor to anyone who creates a discipline. He is the strength of that discipline and the focus of that discipline and the commitment to that discipline. And now we are seeking freedom through action, not freedom from action. So the moksha that we are seeking is freedom in action, not being inactive. We had the verses in the Bhagavad Gita that said that no one can be free from action. Even I, who am the Lord of the three worlds, I must continue to act. Therefore, do your action with the spirit of the rishis. Do your action as a servant of Ram. Do your action as an instrument in the hands of God. So I appreciate the priests of India who recommend that we do Shani Puja or the like, because they're saying, do something spiritual. But I appreciate even more those great sadhus that are doing it themselves, not because some priest in India told them to, but because they are really in love with God. And they are following this path just as an inspiration so that they lead a pure life and they lead a focused life and a disciplined life which brings them to their ultimate objectives.
So she said she meant planet Shanti, not just planet Shani. They want you to do puja.
Graha Shanti. Same thing. Same thing, Graha Shanti. Ruchi, Graha Shanti is to put all your planets in harmony. Now look, the sun is the light of wisdom. The moon is the warmth of devotion. Mars has strength and fortitude and focus. Mercury is a communicator. Shukra, Venus, it fills me with love and pure attachment. Rahu, Ketu, take the obstacles and polarize them and help us to reconcile the opposites. And Shani, it will take us to discipline. Look at the beneficent aspects of each of the planets. And then they'll all be in Shanti. That's the puja.
And the question from Kali from Barbados.
Namaste, Kali Ma.
What area of our conscious is represented by the bear?
Bear is actually Jambavant. He's the respected brother or friend of all. The big brother of all. The respected brother of all. So he's got mitrata, and he's got friendship and brotherhood, and that spirit of being completely related to all aspects of creation. And that's Jambavant.
Kumari from Valleco has a question.
Namaste, Kumari Ma.
What would be the effect on earth had Ram failed to rescue Sita?
Oh, it would be very difficult to have our heart and our mind in the same place. There would always be a dichotomy between what we know is right and what we feel is right. If we couldn't unite nature with consciousness, then there would always be this division. And we don't want to act from that place of division. We want to act from a space, a center of unity. And the center of unity that we're seeking is the union between nature and consciousness. And it's incumbent upon all of us. There is a compelling necessity for each of us to find our pure nature. And then we will be able to define our dharma, our highest ideal of perfection. in harmony with consciousness and nature, we can define Dharma. So if Ram had not found Sita and not rescued Sita, then it would be very difficult to define Dharma in the Treta Yuga.
A question from Gauri from Sydney, Australia.
Gauri, you get around. Namaste. Give love and blessings to all of our family and friends in Australia.
Ram talks about, I conclude that I cannot ever be free from my debt to you.
Absolutely.
Why is he so worried about it, being God?
Oh, it is incumbent upon God and Guru to give the most they can to those who surrender to them completely and sincerely and with an intensity. So God and Guru are eternally indebted to devotees who are real devotees. And that real is the qualifier. Because if we're transient devotees and I love you as long as you fulfill my desires, or I love you for this week and now I'm off to someplace else, then that type of devotion, that transitory devotion, releases the Guru from the debt. But as long as a devotee is sincerely and truly devoted and surrendered to the Guru or to God, then the Guru and God can never imagine being freed from that debt. And that is a blessing to us all, Gauri, that God is indebted to us if we are sincerely devoted to God. And Guru is going to constantly be with us from lifetime to lifetime unless we forsake the Guru. It's the ball's in our court. If we turn our back on the Guru, then we've released the Guru from all responsibility. But as long as we're focused on our devotion, and it's sincere, and it's true, and it's intense, it's our bhava, it's our intensity of reality, then it's true that God will never forsake us. Just like in the Chandi it says, my presence will always abide wherever this Chandi pot is recited with pure devotion. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, I will never forsake the devotee who comes to me with pure faith. In the same way, God can never be free from the debt of a pure devotee, of a devotee who has pure devotion and sincere devotion, and not transitory devotion, but real chirasthai, amanya, vyakulata, bhakti. She will never leave us.
Swamiji, a sadhuma from North Carolina has a question very related to what you're saying. Sadhuma is asking, so a sadhak only thinks of God. How does one generate enough faith to have such devotion?
Faith and experience go hand in hand. We take one step towards God and God takes 10 steps towards us. We take one step towards the Guru and the Guru welcomes us with open arms. As we do more, we get more. Kripa, do and get. That's the grace. And then you get faith because of the grace. It's all grace. Sadhuma, Kri means do. Pa means get. The grace is what you do is what you get. That's the grace. And as we do and get, we develop more faith and more faith and more faith. Om Sang Saraswati Namaha. Namaste.